Ladies and gentlefish, welcome to the SR upgrade series. This is going to be version 1. It's going to use all of the basic hardware that came with the SR, except for obviously the upgraded hot end, which is a CHC Pro Volcano 48 watt, and the LDO Sherpa Mini for your direct drive extruding needs. So first, you're going to start out with your effector housing. You need to put your threaded heat certs in on both top and bottom. They're just 3mm Ruthex. These are fantastic. I highly recommend these. They also have this little adapter that allows you to use your soldering iron to push these in a little easier instead of using your tip, and it makes it a little flatter so stuff just adheres a little better. Highly recommend that. This thing, this metal one, weighs just as much as this whole thing with all these fans on it. It's kind of crazy. This is printed out of New Makers ASA. Highly recommend that company. In fact, this whole build, the fan ducts, the extruder housing and everything, is all printed in New Makers ASA. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get into it, guys. So you'll take this first. You want to make sure that your heatsink is lined up correctly with the front so that you can get to your screws there for your hot end. Move this out of the way. Thread it through. Just thread all your pieces through like so. Bring it on down. Make sure that everything lines up nice and good up in there. You want it like so. Make sure that your FLSUN emblem is facing toward the front. You got your fan on the back. Take that. You got your screws on the bottom, which you can't really see that well. Will screw directly into those heat inserts. Okay. So you'll just take your screws, put that down in there. If you don't have an electric screwdriver, I highly recommend it. You can get this one on Amazon for like 30 bucks. Thing's fantastic. Has a lot of torque, even has little lights on it. It's not a paid promotion, by the way. I just actually enjoy this piece of tech. It's pretty nice. It's handy. So you screw both those down like so. Make sure that's all nice and tight. Next, what we can do is put our fans on. You got your 3D printed fan ducts. I prefer these ones because they have a much better output around the nozzle, and it cools it evenly from both sides. So we'll just take our... It's kind of hard to see this with the camera in front of my face. You just take your screw. If I mess this up, don't judge me. I can't see very well. Put it in there. Screw her down nice and tight. Leave it a little loose so that you can adjust the bottom half here. Like so. Big hands, little screws do not go together very well. Make sure that's all nice and tight and snug. I'll do the same for the other one. Once I can get this to stay. Same thing here. Well, poo. Again, big hands, little things don't normally go together very well. It's a relatively simple process for the most part. but none of this stuff wants to work with my hands right now. This camera makes everything really awkward too. Do it like that. See? Line her up ever so slightly. Make sure you line both sides up like the last time. Now, with the Sherpa Mini, there are some commands if you're going to use basic Marlin and not upgrade to Clipper. And I will put those on the screen at the end of the video. But that is not that big a deal. It is not hard to do. It is relatively simple. Next thing is this little piece of PTFE tube right here. You got to make sure that this gets nice and stuck down in there when you actually put that in there later. This piece for my Sherpa Mini setup is, let's see, I think it's 40 millimeters. Yeah, it's just under 40. So 40 should work fine. There's also a little bend in that. So I would just go ahead and do 40 millimeters if you're going to use this particular housing with the Sherpa Mini. You can also use LDO. Extruders as well. Like this one is an LDO. I just threw this part kit together. It was super simple. It cost me like 30 bucks. I will be linking the link to AliExpress for the cheaper version of this that comes with the whole thing, so you don't have to print your whole kit. So that's cool. Put that down in there like that and make sure it's nice and snug. Press it down pretty good. You'll want this to be tight. That's why you need to make sure it's a little bit oversized so that when you put your Sherpa on, you line it up with this little hole right there. When you put your Sherpa on and screw it down, it kind of squishes that PTFE tube down on top of your heat throat inside your heatsink, so that it's nice and compact and squished, and you don't have to worry about any clogging. So we'll just tighten this down. Make sure it's nice and tight. Now you will notice with these Sherpa extruders that you have to take out, just a second. You have to take out this little piece right here in order to get to this screw on top. It just holds your extruder gears together. It's not that big a deal. Super easy to put back in. Just tighten it all back down. Make sure she's snug. What I like about this particular housing is that it has this little cutout for your Sherpa motors. And if you can see how that's kind of pushed up in the back here, that's because your PTFE tube. So you want that to be like that so that it gets nice and snug down in there when it's melting all that filament. But that's all there is to it. It's not hard. I'd say the hardest part of this whole thing is the codes and stuff that you have to put in the console on the screen on the FLSUN SR. And you can also use ChatGPT to help you with that if you don't trust mine. These motors have all kinds of different voltages and stepping that you'll have to dial in yourself after you throw that in there, but I will give you some general stuff after the video. This works pretty good. Thanks for watching, guys. There might be a giveaway on this. I don't know about this one particularly because I'm doing a upgraded version, which I broke the dang thing, but I'm going to be doing an upgraded version V2 that uses a little bit more advanced stuff because you have to solder some ends on the 5015 fans. And then I will also be upgrading this to Clipper as well. But there will be a giveaway probably in the next few months for a return SR just like this one. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching.